Hi, I'm Tony Fleming, and this is Fleming's Ultimate Garage.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on today's video. Listen, if you were going to restore a car, let's say you were going to take it all apart, all right? And then you were going to put all the great features that it may not have come with from the factory on it so that you could have some of the modern accoutrements, all right, that make driving these cars. This is exactly the way you'd build this car. You'd hop up the engine that's in it a little more power. You'd add a 5-speed so you could drive to the beach. You could go for a cruise to the mountains. You go away for the weekend in this car, which I'm hoping you'll do. You would detail and put all new sheet metal underneath, on top, do a spectacular finish on the car. Bolero red for '67 makes it even better looking, all right? So throw this out there too. The fact that it's a first-year car, all right, first-year Camaro, these cars are really starting to rise now because, as you know, they don't make them anymore like this, and now people are kind of changing the whole guts of them to make them more drivable because they look so great going down the road. Immersed inside this showroom here, it looks great, but out on the road, it looks spectacular because nothing else looks like it, all right? So some of the stuff that I see on these cars, I like to point out to you. You may watch a few videos and get bored by it, but it's for people that really are just starting to either get in it or forget that some of the things that are on here are important to the driving experience and keeping the car in great condition. So if we could for a second, we're going to go over some paint, and I want to show you some of that first. All right. So I know you're out there on the looking at other cars, and if you're not, congratulations, you shouldn't be anyway. You should only be coming here. But if you were, have them do this for you. Can you see that crystal clear? Not you know, sketched out, but crystal clear. Can you see exactly what time it is, right? You want to be able to do that. Are the stripes clear coated on there? And the why I say that is because great paint jobs aren't about the paint. Everybody can paint. You could even paint. It's all about the process that they do underneath. It's the prep in the car. So it's getting the metal ready. It's making sure there's no dings, dents, scratches. This has a lot of new sheet metal in it anyway, including the underneath, which you'll never see. But the reason why it's so important underneath, because that translates into the great drive of the car. If it's loose or it's got some rust things going on down there, the car is loose and it's squishy and it hits bumps like an old car does. This doesn't hit bumps like an old car does. This car goes down the road and it sounds fabulous, all right? So we got a cowl hood too, which I love the rise of this. I love they make these emblems that say cowl induction here that we put on a lot of Camaros. We can stick those on for you. They come with pins. We cut the pins off and just use the double-sided tape on there, and that way we don't have to drill holes in it, so if you want to take them off later, you can. Ask us to put those on for you, no problem. I think they look awesome, all right? You got your SS call-outs. How you know it's 67 right away is it has the vent window. It's the only year for the Camaro to have that vent window, all right? This has rally wheels on it with BF Goodrich radial TAs, which I think is a great-looking muscle car tire, but buried inside of here, which you may forget to ask about, is power disc brakes, all right? A lot of these cars didn't come with power disc brakes, all right? And this one does have that. All right, so as we move around, parchment white interior with the white boot, spoilers on the car, all right? This is a big part of the Camaro. Imagine looking at this car without the spoiler, and it changes the whole rear of the car, all right? It looks significantly better. And then I like to say this right here, that everybody can do the top of a car, right? But does the car look that good, the other one that you're comparing it to? Don't even bother comparing it because it's not worth it. This is a great car and it's modified the way you would want it and loaded with features, all right? So let's take a peek under the hood. I'll show you some of the modifications there, and once we get to start it, then you'll go, wow, that sounds really nice. So before I go and open the hood, I wanted to point out why this car looks so great. The front spoiler there, the RS grille with the electric doors on it, okay, so a little bit more reliable than the vacuum operated ones, all right? That's all in here. The reason I point out some of the stuff is because people will say, wow, that's a great looking car, but you never really know why it's a great looking car, and that's why I like to point out that stuff. So the spoilers, this RS here, the stripes, all of that kind of adds up to a car going down the road that just looks spectacular. All right, so I've rambled on enough. Let's peek under the hood, and let's see what we got here. Okay. So, a couple things that we have touched on but are important to remember. Power disc brakes. Car would have come, with a Super Sport would have come with disc brakes, but it wouldn't have been necessarily power disc brakes, all right? And this has that. This also has fast ratio power steering down here, all right? This is designed for you to take to a show or take out to dinner at the Palm or Roost Crisp or something like that. The reason I say it's designed to take to a show is because it has the GM hoses here with the GM stamping. It has the correct tower clamps that would have come on the car circa 1967. The battery topper here. And everything is not spray bomb black. The hinges aren't black, but the hood is painted satin black underneath like it's supposed to. Hood insulation under here like it's supposed to. These are the shortcuts that other people take that the cars that you're looking at don't have, and you say, well, why is your car more money? Well, my car is more money because It's ready to go for a drive today or take to a show today, and it also includes free enclosed door-to-door shipping to you anywhere in the continental US, and it also includes a 1-year warranty, which nobody else does but us. Nobody. That's how we grew to be the largest, and I think that give us a chance, I don't think you'll be disappointed. All right, so let's take a peek under here. So you say, well, I don't really care about the trunk. Well, you should care about the trunk, and I'm going to show you why. Because as we go through here, I want you to be able to go to a car show, open up the hood in the trunk, and be able to show it off, right? And it look really nice. Or you can throw some stuff in the back and go to the beach if you want to. So back here are the original cocktail shakers. That's what they call these weights back here for the convertibles, all right? The correct plaid mat, new weather stripping. You know, the car's been recently repainted, so all new weather stripping, and the trunk is detailed properly with the aqua splatter paint like it's supposed to. All right, the correct decals inside. And say, well, whoa, what's the big deal about decals? Who cares? I agree, who cares? But it's this detail stuff that gives you a car that you don't have to do stuff to, man. That's what I'm trying to say. You're busy. You don't have time to sand the body, wire the dash, bleed the brakes. You don't have to do that stuff. Here's a way to get some instant therapy this weekend. All right, come on in here for a second, and I want to show you a little bit of stuff in here. All right, so some little stuff. For instance, like the footwell lighting working. You may say, well, really, the footwell light, that's what you're going to hang your hat on? Well, I am going to hang my hat on that because to get the footwell lighting to work, there's a lot of wiring and things that have to work in unison with that. If you're going to restore a car, most people take that shortcut because it's a pain, man. It could take you 2, 3, 4 extra hours just to make the footwell lighting work. And this has had that done. It's just a good indication of the level of restoration. The door closes, man. This is a 50-year-old car, okay? It looks really, really nice. You can take another couple out in the car with you. You can take the kids out with you. Go to dinner in this car. Pull up to Roost Chris or wherever it is you go, the vegetarian restaurant, Thai food that night, little pho, whatever it is you're going out for, right? You pull up, let the valet park this. This car sits out front, they push the Porsche around the side, guaranteed. And stand there for a second, away, and let people walk out and see the car. You'll hear them say all the time, oh my God, that car is beautiful. Or, oh my God, I had a car like that. Or, I had a boyfriend like that. Or, I had a girlfriend who had a car like that. Awesome stories that go along with it. You're gonna meet somebody every day who has a great story and has something nice to say about you, and it always brings out some smiles. So in this case here, again, a full restored interior and some more options that we didn't discuss earlier, which is a power convertible top, which is really nice to have. So you, and on a Friday, click 2 latches, hit the power, boom, and down it goes, all right? Buckets and console. The console just looks nice. These are the original style factory gauges. And another little hint about the level of restoration is the clock is working. Whoa, big deal about the clock working. Well, it is a big deal because 1 year later when it was new in 1967, 68, it was probably out of warranty and the clock wasn't working. And now, this is 2016, we're doing this and the clock is working, which I think is just another level of restoration. So you have those gauges there, you have a 7,000 RPM tach, 120 mile an hour speedometer, all right? Little upgraded sound system from Classic Sound. It's a digital unit that you can add iPod, CD, or those kinds of things too, but it still looks stock in the car and it looks great. Probably the best feature of the interior in here, although it looks great, whoop, I glazed over one thing, and that's the power windows in here. Another really nice feature. You say, well, what, power windows? I don't have to have that. Well, you're right, but don't forget, this car comes with crank windows. Your car that you drive every day probably has power windows, and you're not used to being without them. Matter of fact, we get kids here all the time that point at those handles and go, what are those? You know why? Because they haven't been in a car without power windows in 10 or 15 years. Anyway, the power windows are very nice. This right here is very nice. It's an expensive upgrade, but it's worth it. The 5-speed transmission, okay? And as it goes through its pace with the Hurst shifter in there, it's nice and tight, man, okay? And you click that into its 5th gear for overdrive. RPMs drop on down, and you just roll on down the road. Me, I would do 55. I'd be in the right-hand lane with my flashers on. You'll probably drive 80, 90, 100. You'd be happy to do that all day long. All right, so how about I do this? I'll start it for you, and you can hear what this bad boy sounds like. That's no stock 327. All right, so let's close up the video here. We talked about a lot of stuff, so let's just do a quick recap. First year Camaro convertible, okay? 5-speed transmission, disc brakes, front and rear spoilers, cowl hood, stripes, right? All of the things that make for a great driving car. Disc brakes make for a great stopping car. Nice sound system inside. The power windows as well. I forgot to mention when we were doing the video that it has tilt wheel. All right. And as we get a little older, it's nice to have the tilt wheel so we can get in and out. Right. Just saying. All right. We showed the quality of the paint. I've rambled. It's a spectacular car. You could theoretically be driving it this weekend. All right. If Colin does his job and gets a video up right away, all right, and doesn't delay it like he likes to do, then this right here will be available for you to see and you can roll with it right away. Anyway, call us 301-816-1000. I'll tell you all about this 67 Camaro convertible.